Hello everyone, this is The Last Word and I'm Maria Shakil. The nightmare for medical aspirants who gave NEET just doesn't seem to end. The latest in their saga is the apex court scrapping the scorecards of over 1,500 aspirants. They now have to opt, in fact, they have the option either to take a retest, which is scheduled for 23rd, or the results will be declared minus those grace marks that were given. And the results will be declared, remember, on 30th June. And NEET counselling and seat allocation will begin from the first week of July as is scheduled. Remember, among this set of students are those who struggled with glitches during the exams. They faced the stress of lost time. There were also allegations of paper leaks in Bihar, Uttar Pradesh and Rajasthan. Students are agitated, understandably so, and here's what played out through the day in what clearly is appearing to be a big NEET fiasco.
In a decision that has done little to placate NEET candidates across the country, the Supreme Court has accepted the centre's solution to the admission mess. The centre told the court grace marks given to 1,563 NEET undergraduate 2024 candidates for admission to MBBS and BDS will be cancelled. These students have the option of either taking a retest on June 23rd or they can seek admission based on their marks without the grace marks. The court, however, declined to halt the admission counselling process, which will start on July 6th. Retest results will be declared on June 30th. But protests continued in many parts of the country, with NEET candidates and their parents demanding a retest and a probe, alleging that the paper was leaked at certain centres. But the government has denied any paper leak and defended the National Testing Agency, which conducts the NEET undergraduate examination.
पेपर लीक की हमारे पास कोई जानकारी नहीं है। मैंने उस रीट पिटीशन को अनुध्यान कराया, कोई भी एक भी जगह पे प्रमाण नहीं है। एक एलिगेशन पेपर लीक हुआ है, कहाँ है प्रमाण हुआ है? एक दो चीजों की न्यूज आइटम पे अगर प्रमाण आधारित होता है तब कोर्ट उसको विचार करेगी, सरकार अपना पक्ष रखेगी, वो कोर्ट में 8 जुलाई को चर्चा भी होगी। मेरे जितना जानकारी है, नीट एक कॉम्पिटेंट एग्जामिनेशन करने वाला अथॉरिटी बन चुकी है। आने वाले दिनों में सारे प्रकार की शंका संशय को दूर करने के लिए और पारदर्शिता लिया जाएगा और जो लोग उसमें कहीं ना कहीं एक आधा जगह पे कुछ गड़बड़ी करने का कोशिश कर भी रहे होंगे, उनके ऊपर कार्रवाई भी लिया जाएगा।
But far from satisfying the opposition, the government statement sparked off a war of words.
We demand a Supreme Court monitored investigation. The NTA chairperson should be removed from his post.
After the NEET, we are suffering a lot. We don't have doctors in rural areas. The whole health system is suffering because NEET has been brought in.
For Tamil Nadu, that demands exemption from NEET, arguing the exam only favors affluent students who can afford private coaching, denying level playing field for poor, high-scoring rural students. The shoddy NEET results have only bolstered its plea.
Despite the war of words between the government and the opposition, the Supreme Court has endorsed the National Testing Agency's proposal for having a retest. But the big question remains is the trauma for the students who have to reappear for this professional exam. With Sam Daniel in Chennai, Sunil Prabhu, NDTV.
And joining me now, Vrinda Saroop, a former Secretary of Education Ministry. We also have Sumit Jain, co-founder of Unacademy, and Unacademy, remember, is one of the petitioners in this case. Ashna Jain is a NEET aspirant and Anandi is another NEET aspirant. I'm going to begin with the two aspirants first, Ashna and Anandi. After the Supreme Court's verdict, are you hoping that the entire, the concerns that you had will be addressed? Anandi?
Yes, ma'am, absolutely. I think I am very glad with the decision of Supreme Court, and I think that it has given the well-deserved justice that many genuine NEET aspirants needed.
Okay, so you are happy with the verdict. What about you, Ashna? Because there are those in various political parties who are of the opinion that there should be a Supreme Court monitored investigation. Some are also demanding a CBI inquiry.
Ma'am, it is a very satisfactory decision of Supreme Court, but we can't just believe the fact that only 1563 candidates were awarded grace marks, because this data has been made public by NTA, which is the same association which didn't even care to mention grace mark concept in their information bulletin. So I also demand a CBI investigation or a Supreme Court inquiry against NTA, that to how many candidates grace marks are awarded, and also re-NEET in some states where paper leak has happened.
Okay, but here was the Education Minister, Ashna, who said that there has been no paper leak, that there is no evidence also to say that there has been paper leak.
Ma'am, FIR copy is there of Bihar Patna that paper leak has happened there, and many students are also being witness of the paper leak. So I don't think that he can just deny the fact that the paper leak hasn't happened.
Okay. Sumit and Brinda, come in on this. You know, here are students who have temporary satisfaction that perhaps there'll be transparency, but in the long run, given the nature of questions that have been associated with it, can NEET be foolproof? What exactly is the solution for future? Brinda?
I think the basic issue is about the credibility of the exam. And the best thing is to avoid controversy, especially in something which is so fiercely competitive and which requires a level playing field and a full confidence of all participants and candidates who apply. So I think any of these controversies set back the credibility of the NTA. And even in the past, we've heard every year some kind of a little bit of a controversy coming on. So I think a real hard look by the NTA should be done, processes streamlined, the competitiveness and the security which is involved with the exam and the exam papers, all that needs to be relooked. And
Brinda, will you also say that the larger question is also the unanswered set of questions, which includes on what basis were these grace marks given? If the states are saying that there has been paper leak, then how can centers say that there is no evidence of paper leak? So it is playing out at multiple levels. Is this more of a denial?
So I think these are concerns which are coming to the surface. And as a government body, as a body promised to do the fair deal, is for the NTA to really revamp its system. Because grace marks, I agree completely, have no place in a competitive examination, entrance exam system. So grace marks have no place in this. And if it was done, it's a serious lapse. But anyway, the solutions for this have been found. But I think since you asked in the long run, you have to have a credible system where people have faith that they will be assessed properly and the marks without any favor to anybody will be released. So I think it's the systems which need to be restudied and to be made far, far more foolproof. Now, as far as leaks are concerned, Maria, leaks are something which there are ways of stopping that. And when you do large-scale exams like this, especially when there are series of people involved with coaching, etc., and all the complications that it brings, it's not as if the NTA would not know how to handle that.
Okay,
they do it for many other
ma'am, we'll try and fix the video frame of yours in just a bit. In the meanwhile, let me bring in Sumit Jain. Sumit, the Supreme Court certainly, coming up with much needed verdict, and all this is happening only after the center said that it has decided to cancel the scorecards. But everything is happening only post the student agitating, some details coming out in the public domain. Do you think all these events were best avoidable if it could have been handled in a far more responsible way, given the sheer scale at which these exams happen? 24 lakh students appeared this time around.
Yes, definitely. See, this 1563 students is only addressing the grace marks issue, and that is also being told by NTA that these are the students who got grace marks. But there is no proof, and there is no external agency which has established that this is correct. So the biggest problem has been that NTA has not supported the inquiry. They have not been very vocal about it. They have not been empathetic about the student sentiments, and there are lot of issues. Only one issue has been addressed, but we don't know that has it been addressed.
Okay.
But if you look at the rank inflation, Maria, that the biggest problem is that today somebody getting 630 marks is not getting a government seat. Today somebody getting 650 marks is not getting government seat. 67 people getting 720 marks out of 720 is unheard of. Even a 12th class CBSE exam, which is absolutely not as much competitive, you don't get 100% people, 67 people getting 100%. So it has been a mockery. There has been a lot of inconsistencies. The prestige of NEET exam is at stake. We should not do things in hurry. Right now, what is happening? We are trying to do things very, very fast. 6th of July, the counseling should not happen. We should have a provision. We should ask every student that have they encountered the delay in their paper. We should receive applications. We should do re-NEET, not just for 1563 students, but for everybody who suffered. We should look at the paper leak thing. We should delay the counseling.
Tell me, do we know for the fact that there are only these 67 students who got grace marks?
So these 67 students did not get the grace marks. Out of 67, 44 students actually got 720 out of 720. 6 students got the grace marks because of time, and 17 students got the grace marks because of wrong question of physics. So this 1563 students, everybody does not have 720 marks, right?
Okay, but Ashna had a point. Ashna, who is an aspirant, she says that she doesn't really believe that there was a limited number of 1,500 students who should be taking a retest because they got grace marks. She is of the opinion that there could be many more.
That is true. That is exactly what I'm saying, that you don't expect a student who is studying physics, chemistry, biology to go to the court after the NEET exam happened, right? There are people in farther areas. There are people who are not very, don't have the right means or right knowledge or right ability to do that. So some students who have reached to the High Court. Then there was an investigation. 6 centers were found having this glitch, but I think there could be more. And that's what the government should actually invite. The Supreme Court should invite any NEET student to come out, fill a petition. Like we got 50,000 students filling up a petition with an academy. So the issue is definitely not 1563 students, Maria. It is a lot bigger.
It's certainly a lot more, because if students like Ashna and Anandi do not have faith in the system, then they are also concerned about their future. Ashna, what next for you?
Ma'am, the paper leak matter should be investigated, and the database of NDA should be checked, that only 1563 students are awarded grace marks or there are more students.
So who should check the database?
CBI investigation or the Supreme Court itself, because these are the institutions which I have faith in.
You don't have faith in NTA?
No, not now.
Okay.
After all this.
Okay, so, Vrinda, this is a concern. Here is an aspirant who doesn't have faith in the institution. And how will she take the exams then? And why should she believe the marks that is coming from this institution then?
So look, there has to be an agency to conduct these exams. You can't get away from that. But the point that I'm making is that agency needs to improve its systems.
It has to be above board.
Yes, it has to be above board. It has to command credibility in the system. And the precursor of this was the CBSE, which had been conducting this for a very long time. And this has morphed into an NTA setup. There's nothing wrong with that. Because it's becoming more and more competitive, it needs a special agency. That point is valid. But this agency needs to create a lot of credibility. And it has to streamline and keep reinventing systems by, today technology allows you to be foolproof in the way you conduct such mass, competitive, fiercely contested exams. So you have to be above
So what
board.
will you be telling Ashna and Anandi right now?
So I would say that, in this particular incident, there is already intervention by the Honorable Supreme Court, and the government has been alerted by young people like her and others who back them. So this is going to be a focus for this year to improve. But in the long run, we should be able to see the change, and students like Ashna and all the competitors would have faith and must be able to interrogate that faith and see that everything is above board.
Yes,
so NTA has to step up and really work hard.
Yes, because Sumit, if students are busy protesting and not, because they realize that a system has failed them, and they have to, if they want to be a doctor, then this is the only way out. It is not about any state exam that was there, say, 10 years ago. So they have to be given a solution. The solution cannot be that only 2 students got grace marks, which is completely unbelievable. They don't believe it. When you have states filing FIRs, and here is the center saying that there has been no paper leak, these are contradictory statements.
100%, Maria, that this is, see, whatever has happened has resulted into the loss of trust, confidence, and conviction on NTA and the NEET exam, which is a very, very big problem, not just for this year, also the coming years. What are we telling our students, our future doctors, who are going to treat you and me? Will we have a trust on that student that has the person cleared an examination which was credible? So we must address and acknowledge the issue, must fix it, not in a hurry. Don't try to put a deadline of 23rd June, 30th of June, 6th of July. This is beyond my understanding. Why are people trying to fast track the entire process? What is the hurry? Supreme Court has a directive that before 1st of September, all the medical colleges have to accept the students. And in some cases, it can be extended till 30th of September. So counseling can be done in August. We have the time. We should take 8th of July. There is a hearing by Supreme Court again. Absolutely does not make sense for us to do a counseling on 6th of July and then give seats to the students and then take seats back. See, it is like we are just making the problem more complicated. We should tell the students, please don't worry, sit at home. We are working on it. We will fix your problem. The problem has been that NTA has not been vocal about it. They have been trying to hide the issues. Still, they try to solve the issue, which is partly 1563 students, which is grace marks issue. They have still not solved that how can somebody at 650 rank get a 30,000 rank, which the person got 7,000 rank last year. They said that competition is higher. See, there are only 14% students, more students this year, and the paper has become 10% easier. The inflation could have been 25% higher. It is 400% higher. Like, I'm speechless. It requires a thorough investigation, and we must do it.
Yes, absolutely. Anandi, a word from you before we end this discussion. What are your plans now?
I'll now review like what colleges I can apply for by analyzing the last year's data. But because of such issues, even my rank has shifted behind a lot. Like, I have scored 644, and according to last year's data, my rank should be around 26,000, but this year it is 34,000, around 34,000.
That's so a huge concern. Yeah. Thank you, Anandi, Ashna, Sumit, and Brinda for joining us. And joining us now for an exclusive conversation is Kani Mori, Member of Parliament of the DMK and also the head of the DMK Parliamentary Party. Ma'am, really appreciate your time here on NDTV. Your party has been protesting, and you in particular have been raising the issue since 2017. It has certainly become a political hot button, not just in Tamil Nadu but all over India. Today, after the Supreme Court's intervention, a much needed correction has happened. Do you think this is the step in the right direction?
Yes, the Supreme Court has given a small respite to the students, around 1,500 students, who lost their marks because of problems with the QR code and because they did not get enough time to finish their answer paper. But DMK's stand is much more than that. We want exemption from NEET. We are not talking, because there is many issues and many problems like they have multiple question papers, and some question papers are very difficult, some are quite easy. Students from different parts of the country, have to, answer these question papers, which are very difficult, and they feel they've lost out because of these multiple question papers. And they feel wronged. Even in my constituency, around 1,500 students are suffering this year because of these multiple question papers. So it's a very complicated and a problem for most of the students. So I think Tamil Nadu government and our Chief Minister has passed a resolution in the Assembly, so with the support of most of the political parties in the Tamil Nadu Assembly, and sent it to the Union government. And I think it is still pending with the President for approval.
Okay. Talking about this particular, because we are looking at NEET UG examinations of 2024, the Union Education Minister, in fact, Mr. Dharmendra Pradhan, who addressed press conference just a couple of hours ago, ma'am, has said that there is no evidence of paper leak. And he has also asserted that the Education Ministry will try and ensure transparency going forward. Then why continue to demand scrapping altogether?
This is not actually an eligibility test. It is it's more convenient for any eligibility or entrant examinations. I think people who benefit more are students from cities, because they can go to coaching classes, and it is the affluent actually who benefit out of these exams, and students from rural areas, students who cannot afford to go for coaching classes, they find it very difficult to get through these exams, and it is actually filed against them. So it's not fair. So in Tamil Nadu, we've always, the ratio of doctors the population has always been high, and our health sector has always done well. But after the NEET, we are suffering a lot. We don't have doctors in rural areas. The whole health system is suffering because NEET has been brought in. And our doctors are doing very well all over the world and in Tamil Nadu. Because of NEET, so many of our students who should have rightfully got into medical colleges, and especially students from underprivileged families and rural areas, are the worst sufferers. So this is not this is an eliminating examination. It's not an eligibility examination.
Okay. So what is the alternative measure? Because educationists are of the opinion that centralized examination of this nature actually helps students. Because, talking about the sheer number, it's 24 lakh students who appeared for NEET examination this year alone, ma'am.
See, everything cannot be centralized, and you cannot think that is the right way to go. We've had a very good system. We've had excellent doctors, and our health system has been really good without NEET. Because it's always been based on students' marks in their 12th standard examinations. So it was a level playing field. And students from rural areas, and the Tamil Nadu government, and especially when Dr. Kalaignar was the Chief Minister, he wanted to make sure that we had one government medical college in every district in Tamil Nadu. I think today Tamil Nadu is one of the states which has the highest number of government medical colleges. NEET was brought in only for private colleges to ensure that students are not left out, and there is no wrong practices in these private medical colleges. We have no objections about private medical colleges. We're talking about leave government medical colleges out of it and give an exemption to Tamil Nadu students who are writing their exams for government medical colleges.
Ma'am, you are a mother yourself, and I'm sure there are a lot of questions that are being asked by students these days. There are a lot of concerns that they have been sharing. But who will own up the misery of these students?
No, that is why our Chief Minister and the Tamil Nadu government is fighting for the need to be, done away with in Tamil Nadu at least. In court, also we've passed resolutions and we've sent it to the union government, and it's still waiting. It was pending with the governor in Tamil Nadu. Now it is pending with the President of India. And I hope justice will be done to the students of Tamil Nadu.
You are now the head of parliamentary party of the DMK. You'll be leading them in the Lok Sabha. Is that some issue? Is that an issue which will bring various political parties in opposition together, the India bloc together, in demanding that it should be scrapped altogether, that these examinations should be done away with? Mere corrections is not good enough. Fixing is not good enough.
In Tamil Nadu, I think all the political parties in Tamil Nadu, of course, except the BJP, I think all the political parties in Tamil Nadu are, even the partners who are NDA partners, alliance partners, are insisting that NEET has to be done away with and Tamil Nadu has to be exempted from it.
My last question, will you be raising this in the upcoming parliament session as well?
Definitely we will be raising it. We have been raising it many times and we will be raising it, and we will be insisting that justice to be done.
All right, Kanimori, really appreciate your time there. DMK MP and head of the parliamentary party in the Lok Sabha, saying that she'll be raising this issue also in the upcoming session of the 18th Lok Sabha.